Hi Sagittarius, we're here with your reading, what you need to know for October, all the important stuff, anything that you need to be aware of. We're starting off first with the Hermit. And Nine of Wands. Hermit and Nine of Wands feels like during the month of October, especially more near to the beginning, having Hermit and having Nine of Wands feels like what's going on internally and then also what's going on externally. Hermit can be that you are going to be looking for guidance. You can also feel like you want to keep a bit more to yourself because you're processing something. Hermit is generally when we're looking for answers, we're looking for clarity, and it feels like it's to help you with something that you've been going through right now that's been feeling challenging, because we have the Nine of Wands here. Nine of Wands shows something that can take a lot of your energy, it takes a lot of exertion, and Hermit almost feels to me like instead of just going out there and doing your thing without any sort of guidance, Hermit is going to be that inner light that you find and answers that you find when you're tuning in, when you're checking in, that will give you the insight that you need. So rather feeling like you're running around without there being a sense of guidance, Hermit is going to be the way that you connect with your guidance to help you, because you're definitely going through something that I'm seeing will feel you're going somewhere with it. I'm seeing you making progress here, but it takes a lot of energy to do this. And you want to be mindful too of where you step, it seems. So maybe you feel like with everything that you have going on, there are ways that you want to deal with this. If everything feels like in a way it's all coming at you, how are you going to command the energy? Because I'm feeling this sense of everything coming at you at once, and it can feel like a time where you're just center stage, like there's a lot of energy coming towards you, where like you're just trying to take a walk over here and it can feel like everybody's energy coming towards you, and it can feel stressful just because of everything that's going on. So making sure that you're taking this time to check in and make sure that you're on track, that you feel that you're on track. You may prioritize some solitude when you feel the need for it. This is about people close to you, because I'm seeing Two of Cups here. You can have just a lot of people that are wanting to connect with you. I'm also seeing too that something that it looks like it has to do with you and another person. There's a door that's opening for both of you guys. So what this is going to feel like, because it's not the lovers that are getting this opportunity, it's the Two of Cups, you would feel like there is a door opening for you, that you would be taking yourself with you. There would be a, I'm totally on this page, like this is for all of the parts of me to go this way. And for some of you with the Two of Cups, this is going to be you and somebody that you're close with. You feel like you're on the same wave with this person. There's an opportunity. It looks like a single opportunity, but for both of you guys. So you guys would both be going through the same door. And it's beautiful to see the Two of Cups be before this, because it means that there's congruence. This isn't like part of me wants to say yes and then another part of me is like, no, that's not in alignment. When I see Two of Cups, this shows full alignment, that this opportunity going through this door, this really is something congruent for you, and you will feel that within you. That will be the feeling. So this isn't something divisive that's appearing. This is something that there's potential if you walk through that door, and there's also a sense of congruence too for you. So it won't feel like it's splitting you apart. It feels like it keeps you solid. Hermit mode is going to help when you start feeling like everything becomes a bit too much or you start feeling stuck. When that part of you that normally knows what to do and you don't really have to question things goes offline a little bit, you're going to want to that will be your cue to check in. This doesn't feel like a one time and then you're done checking in for the month. This feels like it's going to be a repeated process. Like every time you start feeling like, I don't know where to move right now or what to do right now, or I'm feeling kind of stuck right now, that's when it's going to be your cue to go into hermit mode and do your thing. You will find the light there. Something is being worked out currently that has to do with give and take. I see this as being the theme for at least the month, at least the next month. So this can mean that if there are things that you're involved in that you feel are more one-sided, it can be a time that you look at those things. Because I even feel like things that aren't actually in alignment are sort of coming up and wanting your energy and wanting your attention. And you have to, it doesn't feel like it's about discernment. This feels like it's about action more so. But also discernment can be involved in this to make sure that you're not just expending all of your energy, not getting what you need, and then feeling like you have no fuel left. This can also mean that you feel like you need to show up different places for different arrangements. That word is coming through specifically. There are different arrangements that you're involved within, and there's something that feels like you have to give a lot of energy, but you can also feel like this is what you want to be doing with the Six of Pentacles, because this doesn't feel like something too much is being asked of you, unless you know that. But for the most part, this looks like there's a checking in about what you have to give, what you don't have to give. And also too, it feels like there are exchanges that you are a part of where it can feel like a lot of energy is going into like the same thing but in different situations. Like, for example, let's say that it's not just one person that wants your time. It can be like 10 different people that want your time, and you're gonna have to figure out how to arrange that essentially. This feels like a very like high level complex thing here. This doesn't feel like just one day something happening. This feels like throughout the month there's something about having to balance to make sure that you're showing up how you want to be showing up and giving what you feel like this is what I want to give, and then also to not crossing that line where you're like not listening to yourself or not respecting your boundaries. Eight of Swords and Six of Pentacles also feels like wanting to give, but maybe being like, how is that going to work? How is that going to be possible? So maybe there are things that you want to be a part of, and there can also be questions throughout the month of if that's possible. And this can also be on the reverse, you asking like, I want this, but am I getting what I need? And am I able to get what I need? If I'm showing up and giving my energy to something, like a relationship has to be happening, otherwise nothing is really moving. It looks like there's also some type of defensiveness that's being worked with. I think that this is coming from you, though, the way that I'm seeing this. This means that there can be a really big checking in having to do with your values, specifically when it comes to if you're going to enter into a situation, there are certain things that need to be there in order for you to feel like it's worth it to be there doing some type of exchange. When we're not checking in, we can walk away from an interaction. When we're not checking in and making sure that situations are aligning with our values, we can walk away from an interaction feeling like, why did I waste my time doing that? Even though in the grand scheme, like, nothing's a waste of time. But there can be that feeling of, why is that how I decided to spend my time? Or I could have used it for that thing instead. Or I feel like it's like whatever you wanted to get out of things, or whatever you need it to be in order for it to be worth it to you. There can be a big needing to check in about that, because I don't know which side of this, and it can be both sides. There can be something going on where you can feel like maybe somebody wants more from you, but then isn't showing up to do their part of things. Or maybe you want more from somebody or something, but then you're not showing up. And so there can be a needing to work out discrepancies when it comes to compatibility of values. And having Nine of Wands there feels like just throughout the month there's a lot of effort that's put into that arena, where it has to do with relationships and exchanges and what you're part of, and if that's actually compatible with your values. Not even considering, do I want this to work or do I not? It's more so like, does this work or does this not work? When you just like break it down and you even take away feeling out of it, and you're just looking at something and asking yourself if the equation makes sense, that's where the focus is going to be. But there can be stuff that you're going to have to stand up for yourself, and there can be a feeling of knowing that you need to do some things for yourself here, and feeling like it's hard to do that. Feeling though that you have to be honest. I'm getting a couple different things with the energy. I feel like there are going to be some confrontations that happen. Because if you're just honoring yourself and doing your thing here, I feel like there are going to be some energies that may be disgruntled about that, and you have the choice of whether you still show up and do your thing here, or whether you succumb to an energy that you feel is not actually aligned. This can be somebody being like, I want this from you, or I want you to perform in that way, and then you feel like that's not true to me, and you have the choice to either be like, no, that's not true to me, I'm gonna be doing it this way. Or it can be something where you sort of like become submissive to the energy, which there's nothing wrong with that in and of itself. It's more so like becoming submissive to an energy that is not aligned. So you would be doing something where you're like maybe keeping the peace, or like not making somebody mad or whatever, but at the same time knowing that that's not your truth. Like that's not your authentic energy, it's not your authentic expression, and it's not compatible. So it seems like there's some of that that's going to be going on. It can be one situation, it can be many situations. This does look like it's going to be an overall theme. And I do feel like part of this is about maybe too how prepared you are to stand your ground when necessary. And also work with your shadow too, because your shadow can be like, lie to them, or like say whatever, and then it won't be a big deal anymore, or just be like a yes man for them when really your heart's not in that. Or it can be a time where you're like, that's not going to work for me, or I don't want to do that, or this is how I'm going to be showing up. So like it, love it, or leave it. It can be kind of more of that energy that I'm seeing here. This feels like, are you going to like oppress yourself, or are you going to express yourself? Because ultimately the Seven of Swords comes back to being your own energy. So even though you can have people around you that playing their own processes out, at the end of the day, Seven of Swords is about whether or not in this context you are going to be showing up authentically, or if you're going to find yourself in situations and be like, it would better to be like shape-shifty here, even though that's not true for you. There's nothing wrong with being flexible. There's nothing wrong with shape-shifting. It's where it becomes an issue for us is when that's not authentic for us to be doing. So there can be some, I have to say something here because that is what's true for me, or that doesn't align with me. And you may have some energies around you that don't like that. But it may be very necessary here to do. In time, there will be understanding for this, but it can be that uncomfortable feeling. So when you start feeling that tension, when you start feeling that stuck feeling, what do you need to do to get back to a centered place? What do you need to do to get back into a place where there's that sense of vitality, protection, grounded, centered, reconnecting with yourself? This feels too like not abandoning yourself for nothing and for no one, that there's no reason why you would need to do that, even though it can be hard at times. But this does feel like you choosing yourself, you picking yourself. Because you know that if there's any situation where you don't pick yourself, compatible situations, you will be able to pick yourself and the situation. But when something is incompatible, it's either you or the situation. And so it can be a time where you have to keep choosing yourself. Otherwise, you get to the point where you're like, why am I not feeling right? Or why am I not feeling like myself? Or what's wrong? Or what's missing? Or why don't I feel okay? Why am I not feeling at peace? So it's going to come down to those scenarios for you. What can happen too is that you become more aware of things that aren't actually compatible for you anymore. Or you can become aware of things that are indeed compatible. It's always going to be both things. It's always going to be both polarities. And both of them will clarify. When you know certain things are compatible for you, it can be telling you what's not compatible. And when you're becoming aware of things that are not compatible for you, that informs you of what is compatible. So like both of those scenarios will be helpful to you. Whether you're experiencing what you want or what you don't want, it will just clarify things further. If you use the polarity, if you use the energy in that way. There can be anxiety about an opportunity that's coming up too. This does look to me like a specific opportunity. Actually, can we clarify and see what this is? We end with two aces. We have Ace of Wands and we also have Ace of Swords. Which is a beautiful thing to see, because when we go into hermit mode, it's because we're finding answers. And to end with Ace of Swords, it means that you found the clarity that you were looking for. You found the answers that you were looking for. Stuff is clear to you, so you can come out of hermit mode, because you go into there throughout the month, but then you end the month feeling like things are crystal clear. So it can feel not clear at times throughout the month. You have to go and check in, and then you end up coming out of it having both opportunity and potential right in front of you, because it feels like by the end of the month I'm seeing a door be there open for you. And having that Ace of Swords, you feel like you've cleared things out and like you can see clearly. You can feel like your third eye is cleared, like your throat chakra is cleared, and you'll know what to do at that point. This Ace of Wands is being clarified by a Page of Wands, I'm also seeing Eight of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. What I see this as is that something that you're interested in, there's a door that is connected with that's going to be opening, but it can be if you're traveling, you've been traveling down a road, you want to be on that road, so you're happy to be there. It's in alignment for you to be on that road. It looks like there's going to be a path that veers off of it, but not in a way where you're getting out of alignment, more of like another road that's attached to what you're doing that becomes another way that you can travel. So it's like something that it seems like it branches off. I feel like that's not the best metaphor to explain the energy. It'll have to do with what you've been doing and what you've been working on. It's something that you want, but it feels like it's somehow attached to what you've been doing, but as a new chapter. And you will feel like there's a lot of potential that's connected to it. And this will be, by the end of the month, you'll be seeing that. By the end of October. And two, having the Ace of Swords there, you're going to feel like there's nothing that you need to see that you're not seeing. You'll feel like everything is there. This is an energy of a breakthrough. This is you having the epiphanies that you need to have, the understandings that you need to have. There's going to be a balance that you'll have to keep between, there's going to be a lot of energy that needs to be exerted, and this can be a lot of your life force that is required during October. And also too, you have to make sure that you're grounding, especially within your, it feels like throat chakra area more so, like maybe even the top ones is what this feels like to me. So this can be balancing the lower chakras with the higher ones too, and make sure that there's not an offset within the energy, because you have to balance out exertion with rest and force and action with stillness, and that being important. And then having Six of Pentacles and having Two of Cups, it has to do with the things that you're involved in and making sure that the stuff that you are connecting with is compatible, is aligned. And this thing that comes up that feels like, if there's a way that you feel this would be true to me to show up in this way, that's going to be challenged somehow, and you get to choose. At every corner, you get to choose whether you sort of like hide yourself and hide your light and hide your energy, or you show up regardless of what's happening in the environment, because that's what you feel like you need to do. I feel like that about covers it. I do see that something is going to come to light that you may not have been aware of before, but only because you're thinking about these things now in this context. When you're thinking about reciprocity and you're thinking about compatibility, and there are answers that you're looking for when it comes to your needs and what allows exchanges to be sustainable for you, it's going to bring things to light. And this feels like things that have been around you. So there's going to be a clarifying of that. Things that are near to you and you being able to see clearly. And for some of you, this can be a relationship that is involved in this. By the end of the month, there is going to be a feeling of renewal, and there will also be a feeling of there being a lot of potential, of something being there that feels like it's just the beginning, and that feeling exciting because it's connected with somewhere that you want to be. The whole month is going to be about balance, because you may see extremes within the energy too. So you will really need to embody Temperance and Two of Pentacles energy. With this Seven of Wands and the Seven of Swords, there will be moments, because this doesn't feel like just one. This feels like multiple moments that you're going to have throughout the month where you will find yourself in situations where you can decide that there is a way that you feel like if you're going to really be representing yourself, that's how you must show up. And then or you have the opportunity to kind of abandon yourself, and that being the choice that I'm seeing within the energy. Because this Seven of Swords is feeling like a cloaking of like, I'm not going to say what I really think or how I really feel. Not in a crass way. This is more so like if there's transparency needed, because this feels like it is, you're going to be transparent and you're going to be direct and you're going to be honest within your energy, or you can not be. There can be a stepping back or stepping away from that, or like covering up. That can happen. And it feels like the difference between maybe just like being brave and doing what you have to do and really feeling like you're showing up for yourself versus something kind of folding you here. It feels even between like your shadow and your core. And are you going to show up and express yourself authentically and be honest? Or is that not going to happen? I do feel too like this has to do with situations where it's about like what's fair, what you need, or what you can give or can't give, or am I getting enough, like those things. Because it feels even in the beginning like there's some type of issue having to do with that, where you can feel stuck. Like there's something that you want, something that you need, something that you're trying to figure out, understand more about yourself and your values and relationships, and a feeling stuck in the beginning. But by the end of the month, you will have that breakthrough and things will feel very, very clear to you. It's like everything that wasn't making sense or that you were trying to figure out gets figured out. And there will be a sense of ease that you end with. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.